A warm welcome back to the channel. A new airline has launched passenger flights, sort of, and United Airlines is struggling. Want to begin with Global Airlines, who have commenced flying with their first maiden transatlantic flight departing Glasgow in Scotland for New York JFK. The aircraft departed at 11 a.m. local time on Thursday, May 14th, and marks a new era for travel across the United Kingdom for an airline with very bold plans. Those ambitious plans involve transforming the aviation industry and bringing back the golden age of air travel with enhanced global connectivity. Still, first that needs to occur towards the United States. While carrying passengers, these flights have sold relatively low in terms of genuine interest rather than, say, high fanfare. The route scheduling is even more peculiar than the business case as well. The special Airbus A380 flights will be operated by High Fly rather than Global, arriving in New York JFK. The aircraft, however, spent 4 days on the ground at its end destination. A peculiar, certainly, route map. The second flight, however, operates from Manchester Airport through to New York JFK. The departure on May 21, aircraft again spending 4 days before returning on May 25. Global Airlines' aircraft is registered as NH-GLOBL. It is an A380-800 that was previously flying with China Southern Airlines before the Chinese operator axed its super jumbo fleet in favour of more efficient aircraft types. But who are Global? Well, they're a British startup that aims to leverage the ultra-high capacity of the Airbus A380 to reach markets right around the world without limitations. Backed by the company's chief executive, the startup has made headlines for its ambitious fleet and business plans, which many have argued remain unfeasible despite these charter flights launching. The airline's identity has also remained, at best, curious. However, Global Airlines believe it can answer the desire for the golden age of air travel to return, with an intense focus on transatlantic flying first. However, not only will Global Airlines need to return a profit on the world's largest passenger plane, which established carriers have failed to do so, it'll also need to battle intense competition if it formally is to offer those scheduled passenger services that I do speak of. Global Airlines is not necessarily targeting new markets. Instead, it is going directly head-to-head for some of the busiest and most hotly contested markets in the United States from the UK. And the thing is, it won't just battle low-cost companies. It's going to battle fully established legacy companies with not only far more established business cases, but an established customer base, frequent flyer programs, and so much more. Brand loyalty being a huge factor as well. Despite this, Global Airlines has been confident that its business model is structurally sound and will have no problems filling a 500-seater aircraft, something most airlines struggle to do consistently across even just one or two routes. What is the future of Global Airlines? Well, as the entire world watches them get off the ground, the future of this startup somehow remains more peculiar than when it first announced its intent to launch now so many years ago. Yes, time does indeed fly. Where has it gone? For Global Airlines, they've advanced. They've been able to operate their flight, and it's really been all smooth sailing, at least from the outside looking in. With no real schedule outlined in the future, analysts who study the industry have weighed in on their opinions, pointing towards these charter flights as a requirement to prove that there is potential to prospective investors. However, at this stage, given the operating costs, the business case, and pretty much everything else associated with this airline, there remains little to no evidence that it is sound enough to really last as a scheduled passenger airline, let alone get the significant investments that it would require. Making money off these charter flights is a challenge, and it's expected to be even more difficult as time passes if interest not only in the brand drops, but they try and elevate their business further. Ultimately, nothing has been demonstrated to indicate that Global Airlines' business model will be a success, let alone even close to turning a profit or attracting customers on a daily or weekly basis. Over to the final story, and it must be said that United Airlines is facing some pretty hefty struggles as an airline that it may not have initially thought it would be seeing take place at the beginning of this year. That is relating back to Newark Liberty, and things are getting a little bit worse. The United States East Coast Airport is critical to United's operation. They use this location to help feed traffic towards many markets, but unfortunately their struggles are now reaching a point where their reputation is sinking and financial hurt, very key here, financial hurt is arriving for the well-esteemed US company. Flight cancellations and delays are only increasing, impacting their ability to serve an optimal and robust network. While Newark is still a key airport for other airlines in the United States, this is including your American Airlines and Deltas, who are competitor carriers, United United is far more critical to the Newark operation, and similar to just how American Airlines relies on Dallas, United relies heavily on Newark. So the importance is massive. It's really a Star Alliance hub for other also operators flying into, and its grip is larger than its counterparts, so its market share is more substantial but also more important. So when something goes wrong, they do truly feel it, whereas if an airline has a 3% market share, it's just not on the same scale. With such a reliance on Newark Liberty, an operational collapse becomes a bigger cause for concern. Since problems first emerged at the end of April, thousands of flights across the network have been affected. The use of larger aircraft continues to be floated as a means to try and limit the impact on the United Airlines operation, but that takes away from other markets that require the capacity. Ultimately, irrespective of how United looks to find ways to avoid the complications, it won't fully be okay, and now that financial hurt is coming into the picture, it becomes an ever more pressing concern that must be rectified. But why on earth is United feeling the effects? Well, the source of the problem centers around compounded technology issues. Because air traffic controllers rely on this, flights cannot operate to their regular standard. As confirmed by the CEO Scott Kirby, with 20% of FAA controllers at the end of April walking off on their job, the walkout represents a generalized inability to maintain a robust schedule, and as a result, changes must be made to maintain what is currently left of the flying schedule before the rest is to crumble. Data from FlightAware for May 3 showed that 80 cancellations compounded 350 delays, and that trend continued through the weekends just gone, with disruption heightened. Ultimately, this figure again just represents a small fraction of the impact on the United Airlines network. It is much more than just one isolated flight. There is a knock-on effect throughout its network, and the effects even stretch as far to partner airlines, customers, and more. Visibly, the longer this goes on, the more frustrations of concerns who have invested significant amounts of money to fly emerges. For those that have business meetings, holidays, essential reasons for travel, these are key things that they're now missing. The situation continues evolving. Kirby stated that Newark Liberty finds itself in an unfortunately unique position where, despite strong demand and airlines wanting to utilize the facilities at the airport, the staff and therefore resources can't handle the traffic being seen. Technology aside, one of Newark's biggest challenges has also been understaffing of air traffic controllers. Worse still, and only probably you'd say aggravating the frustrations present, is the realization that this has been a problem for some time. Kirby reaffirmed analysts' views. This has been a problem for years. It has been mentioned, but hasn't been addressed. While now it is essential that they rectify the problem, well, it's something that's been brewing for some time, and this is very visibly the result of all of it. A complete and utter mess. Very keen to hear your take on global airlines and also the situation unfolding at United. Thank you very much for your support here on the channel. Do take care, do be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for your next industry recap.
And we'll fly.